with his experience in the army. He enlisted himself on September 12, 2001. So next day he has a master's degree in industrial engineering from Stanford, and he gave it all, went to the army, whatever, completely upset. His point is that he doesn't want to impose Planned Parenthood and other socialist schemes on people in Afghanistan or elsewhere. Now we wrote this book together. He speaks all the time at the Property and Freedom Society. That's a great libertarian center in Bodrum, Turkey. And he moved to Ukraine, and because he's of Ukrainian origin, he in this dark ages for Ukraine, he, unbelievable for me, he got Ukrainian citizenship, which most Ukrainians probably would easily sell for a six-pack of beer or something. But that's very interesting how the people would do that. Yeah. So it's an interesting time for all of us to live in. The country is definitely, you can see that the United States is, I think, on the way to kind of to self-destruction or whatever it is, because if this mechanism of democracy is already so much oiled with welfareism, with the handouts and whatnot, then at some point there will be no point of return. Thomas Jefferson used to say that the end of this republic is when tax eaters would outnumber taxpayers. And now this is the case already. We have this last year was a year when 51% already of Americans do not pay federal income tax. I'm not definitely a defender of income tax, but that's for another reason they do not pay the income tax. And there was a Washington Post, they even had this headline that saying that 51% of taxpayers do not pay income tax. That's so strange for me, still with some kind of Russian or European background, to see this kind of politically correct slogans. Why to call them taxpayers then if they don't pay taxes?
Right.
Call them tax eaters. So 51%, and if you will go over this, then you're creating already a state which, as James Madison also would say, would self-destruct. And James Madison meant exactly democracy as the way to, you know that from perspective of anarcho-capitalism, this is all absurd. This is all absurd. So if you read Hans Popper's book, Democracy, God That Failed, that's a great book. Lou Rockwell just published a book a couple of days ago. That's a book about the state, our enemy is a state, and about the vain hopes of minimalist state. I would say that I myself, because I'm in education, because I'm meeting a lot of people with different backgrounds, I usually would try to find a common ground rather than, so unlike Walter Block, I wouldn't spend a lot of energy trashing Milton Friedman, because I think that socialists can do that for us for free. And so I think that definitely we cannot reach unity on the right, but we can at least try to spread the ideas of liberty. Von Mises in 1957 wrote a wonderful essay, Are We Historians of Decline? And then he said, whether yes or not, what's the difference? What should we do? We should do what we're doing. Because what choices do we have? Just to say, yes, we're slaves. Thank you. No, we should fight for liberty the way everybody can. And that's his point, that maybe we're historians of decline, but instead of historians, we should be activists. We should try to prevent it from happening. Because socialism is a system I don't call it socialism anymore. It's an economically system. It's public slavery. Why they murder so many people? Well, they're nobodies. Private slavery, from that point of view, was even much better because nobody would kill their slaves willingly. You're destroying your own wealth. In private and public slavery, it's the same. I mean, can you imagine you'll put Department of Motor Vehicles in charge of people's health? That's what Mr. Obama is doing. Because what is socialism? If you will look what Marx's definition of socialism, and Mary Rothbard agreed with that wholeheartedly, is government. That government ownership. Armen Alkan, the free market economist from UCLA, he wrote a wonderful book saying that every government is a socialist institution. That it's a matter of degree. You have smaller government, you have less of socialism, you have bigger government, you have more of it. And the countries like Soviet Union or China or Vietnam or others or Poland or GDR or whatever, they became full-blown concentration camps with public slaves, with the government either discarding some of them, and they would think that you're a liability, and socialism would kill. And that's what not many people don't understand, that they think that Obama or Hillary Clinton or whomever else, or Michelle, such nice people. That's why I said Hillary and Michelle, because in Washington, D.C., you could see, I did seminars in May, you could see a lot of bumper stickers already, Hillary, Michelle, 2016. So if we would have that kind of government, then I think we would, that really, I mean, Ronald Reagan, who was not a libertarian, but he used to say that that the distinction of liberty happens within one generation. It's so easy to get rid of everything.
Another question. There's a guy named Brian Schweitzer who wrote a book called Extortion, and he made this claim that Ronald Reagan, his best contribution to ending the Cold War wasn't the arms buildup, was that he went to the Soviet Union for them to turn on the oil spigot to bring down the price of oil to such a level that here, for a few months back in the 80s, it was like 80 cents a gallon. But that accelerated the fall of the Soviet Union.
Right.
So my question is Russia today, are they in the same situation? Because what was happening on in Georgia and South Ossetia, instead of just talk or doing, things to their people, would have been a more prudent approach to, turn on the world spigot again to kind of ruin their economy. Or are they in a precarious situation where their economy could be harmed?
Absolutely, and that's why I mentioned that if Obama is not a Russian spy, but he should be kind of praised by Kremlin for acting like one, because all this environmentalism, which it's amazing. I would invite all of you to join my Facebook. I have such wonderful, interesting people. I have many members of European Parliament, like Nigel Farage, maybe you've heard of him, and he's very entertaining. And I have, to balance him, I have Anders Fogh Rasmussen, who is Secretary General of Northern Atlantic Treaty Organization. And Rasmussen is very interesting because he was a libertarian. Truly, you can imagine, a libertarian. He wrote a very good book in 1994, From Welfare State to Minimalist State. And he was attending, I remember him in Copenhagen, Hans Hoppe and myself, we did seminars about that time, 95, 96, and he was in the audience, and he was pretty nice. He was just but he was thinking of going to politics, and then he became, in 2001, he became Prime Minister of Denmark, and now he's Secretary General of NATO. And what is amazing there, I mean, in his post, that according to the NATO intelligence, I don't know how much intelligence there in NATO, it doesn't sound like any left, but from another hand, they traced a lot of Russian funding for the environmentalist groups in the United States and Canada. That they're funding environmentalists, especially anti-fracking groups. anti-fracking groups in the United Kingdom, in area. They almost trashed the residence of Prime Minister Cameron there in the United Kingdom, the anti-fracking people, trying to frack his everything. And so Rasmussen, he ran that's secret funding or whatnot. And I'm pretty kind of sorry that in von Mises, I'm senior fellow of this von Mises Institute, but right now von Mises Institute, if you looked a couple of days ago, they published something against fracking. Saying that fracking is bad because fracking equipment is destroying federal roads. That's the best role of von Mises Institute is to take care of federal roads. It's just insane. Yes. Well, I mean, definitely there's a lot of distortions of the market. Distortion of the market. I mean, the federal they would build roads to provide their cronies with the abilities to frack more or whatever. But fracking is for benefit of us from all points of view. For the benefits of us that your energy bill will be lower, and then the people like Putin and the likes in the Middle East would not have so much leverage over us. So I agree with that the price of what Russian budget is 85% based on minerals. So this is one of the interesting in economics, an interesting kind of phenomenon which is called curse of national